Is this? No, that. But you hear me now? Is there like a big hum behind or something like that? That's what I was worried about when I turned that on. Okay. Is this good? All right, very low, very low. All right, that's good. Because when I turned it on, I thought I like blew out everybody's eardrums. Is that better? That better? And if oh, there we go. You're a savior. Oh my goodness. Hi, we've done it. We're live. Professional streamer. Here we go. Okay, so the plan for today. That's what I was going on about. This actually makes me think. So like, I have a secondary side thought. Let's just do like a weird tangent. So I built. I got like Dante over there. Little server. This thing. And it does like all the AI stuff that I need, and also it like runs a bunch of like pipelines and stuff that I want it to do. So one of the things I do for all my YouTube videos is I throw every video through that, and it actually just translates. Sorry, it doesn't translate. It transcribes the video, and then imprints subtitles onto every video I upload to YouTube. Doing that live for the stream would be pretty cool. Right, like having it just like always imprinting. It would be pretty cool. Just something I was thinking about. Anyway, so today, what we were doing. That was side tangent. Today, the plan is we are going to be tinkering around with. Why can't I sync? Okay, so we're going to be tinkering around with the Maestro MCP server. Something that this project does not have a lot of is testing. And that is something. No, I don't need a physical thing for that. I just have it, so I might as well use it. That's also. I have a tool, and now I wanna use it whenever I can. But I could run that. I could run that entire like transcription thing locally, like pretty easily. Yeah, sure. MCP. So. So what an MCP server is. Yeah, so MCP, it's the idea of it is it's Model Context Protocol, right? So it is basically a very specific way for AI to talk to voices cutting out. Voices cutting out. That's what I was kind of worried about. Is it because I started talking too loud, maybe? But so MCP, it's a very specific protocol for AI to talk to to talk to to talk to to talk to different applications. Now too low. It's good now. Voice is cutting out. Now too low. Ah. All right. I'm gonna take like a second. I'm gonna take a second. So, why is this going directly? Okay. Now too low. Alright. We're just gonna have to go with this today. We're probably gonna have to keep this open to manage it. Yeah, so MCP, it's so basically how like a normal application or a normal application, like a standard application, you might work through some sort of REST API, right? So, or like REST or like REST / HTTP heap API, like some sort of like application protocol, right? To then hit some sort of server, right? So that's how like a regular application does this. And then an application like that might use like open. What's like a good example of this? There's like Open API spec. There's like JSON API, right? So like this is kind of like a spec that you might use, right? So JSON API might be the way that you actually like communicate between your application and your server, right? So an MCP server is basically, I guess, yeah, I'm explaining this so correct. I believe correctly, right? So an MCP server is basically another way of interacting between these two things. So let's just say you have another block that is just some sort of like AI agent, right? So the AI agent can talk to the server as well if it exposes this MCP protocol, right? To call, right? So one thing that I've kind of like, I guess, miscommunicated a little bit is that when I said like this was a REST HTTP API, that is not correct, right? And this also, it being like a JSON API, is not correct, but there's different protocols that you could then send through. And so an MCP server is just different ways of exposing different data, right? So if I were to expand this even further, you might have a database, right? And then you would have one server that gets interacted through with JSON, and then yeah, this would actually be your HTTP server. This is the right way of visualizing this. And then your MCP protocol would be MCP server, right? And then both of these would then interact with your database, or would interact with whatever other things you need, right? So MCP servers, they expose things in different ways, where they expose, hey, like, here are the tools that my like application might expose, and here are things that it can do, right? So I can't necessarily show the configuration of the server, I believe, because I think I have a secret in there. But let's just say if we go to Maestro MCP server, So Maestro specifically is a UI testing server that allows you to just like write YAML. So if I close that diagram here and I open like onboarding flows, onboarding tests, here is like a UI test that you can write in Maestro, right? So it uses YAML, and then it says like, you know, open, do this file. It says like, hey, tap on this string, assert that this string is visible. None of these work right now. That's why I don't really want to dive too deeply into them, because I've built them a long time ago, and then the UI has changed significantly, and it's very frustrating to like constantly update them. But the idea here is that if I were to just like run the application, these UI tests would just then run through these flows. So what I can do now, in theory, that I've set up this MCP server. So if I open and I see that I have two MCP servers here, one of them is linear, which is like my Jira kind of like task management system. But if I say, so I think I built like flow.yaml with it before, or that might actually just all be gone. But let's say like I want to write a set of UI tests that ensure a few specific things. Oh wait, no, I should be doing this because I always accidentally, whenever I do it in Android Studio terminal, I always accidentally end up yeah, we're gonna do it like this. I always accidentally end up like hitting Shift Enter, and then if I hit Shift Enter in Android Studio terminal, it will just like do the thing. It'll submit the command. So I would like to build a set of UI tests for Lyft this application. From clean, I would like the UI tests to run through two. One, run through onboarding. Two, create a lift. Three, create two variations. Four, create one set create two variations. Let's see how this actually goes. Use Maestro MCP to do so. Just like how JSON ways to communicate. Yeah, well, MCP is like the protocol, and then yeah, if you have an MCP server that exposes things in certain ways, yeah, where JSON, like the analogy is kind of lost a little bit, where like JSON can be very specifically designed for like a system, right? So I actually probably assume that MCP servers still can like communicate via JSON, but it's like a very specific way of communicating that AI will always understand it, right? So if you look up a lot of tools, like if you use something like Figma or Jira or anything, or if you've heard of any of those tools, like they probably have MCP servers at this point. What they actually are, sorry, like I've explained what they are. But so I believe Anthropic, who's like, you know, Anthropic, they make all the AI stuff. Not all the AI stuff, a lot of the AI stuff. They designed this system, right, as like a way for AI to communicate with other things. And just in the way that AI is kind of, you know, moving very fast, these things are still very useful, but you know, they do have their limitations in certain ways, and a lot of companies have moved to like skills instead with public APIs. But yeah, it's still, I think it's still cool to understand what an MCP server is. Just a very it's a very specific way for AI to talk to like data sets and other, like, from application to application, or data sources, right? Like an API or a database. All right, so it has gone through and looked at the stuff. I would like this to be a single flow, just because I want it to run through. So I guess I didn't. I kind of explained this before when I was muted, but just getting back to like why I'm writing these UI tests and why I kind of want them to be a little bit more automated, or just a little bit more. Also, I don't want to spend a lot of time writing them, so hopefully this doesn't take a long time. But so iOS is now launched with Lift Pro. iOS app is out, but I don't spend a lot of time testing on iOS. Like, I don't spend any time testing on iOS. The majority Android user, I just don't. Like, I tinker around on the iOS app, but I don't use it a lot. So I want to run all of my UI tests on iOS, right? So that way I can at least ensure that like certain flows are going to be good, right? So I want to get this like MCP server to run through those tests and like create an actual UI test that I can then validate myself and continue going on. So we'll see how it does. I do have some concerns, but if it runs into those, we'll talk about them. Or maybe while it's building, I'll talk about the concerns I have. But so the questions it's asking: create the test files, adjust the flow. So do I want 3 flows? Do I want a single flow? I just wanted to go through like the most happy path for now. I want it to go through the most happy path for now. We can make whatever. We can make it more complicated later, but it doesn't need to know that now. Adjust the flow. 2. Create the first variation when creating the lift. The second one after that, whatever. I don't think I can update that later. During lift creation, 3, add the sets to the variation. Also, create a workout. I don't think I actually want to do that workout one, because that's really what I want to actually test, is the workout thing. Let's see how this goes. So the things I'm concerned about are so there are some best practices that I have not followed in this application. 1 set per variation, 1 set per variation. So after creating the variations, navigate to each and add 1 set. Add the variation and set in 1 flow, then repeat for variation 2. Yeah, let's do that. So one of the things about UI tests is you'll see a lot of what's happening here is it says like tap on. So if I like reset the app, so what's happening here is it says like skip onboarding. Right, so we have skip onboarding. So we have. This is also like I spent a lot of time making these things very complicated, but basically like it clears the app state, it launches the app, and then it taps on. So if I were to enable accessibility, if I tapped on, like, this is the Lift Bro with a ponytail. That's what this like icon says as like an alley label. And then what it does is it scrolls until it's visible, and then it hits continue, and it moves on to the next one. The next one was you consent, and then it hits continue, and then just put me in coach. But you'll see a lot of what it's doing right now is it's just saying like, hey, this is exactly what the text is. But as I mentioned in the first one, and then it like triggered accessibility labels, or there's also a way to put very specific test IDs, right? So those test IDs, I could make them like a randomized number or something that isn't user facing, right? Because all of these right now are user facing. Thank you. It was also clipping a little bit before, but thank you, Phaedric. Hopefully we're good still. Yeah, so what I'm doing now is I'm kind of like hoping that like what I hook into this will just kind of like figure out those IDs and stuff like that. But yeah. Character choice. 1, Lisa. 2, squat. Back, front, back, and then front. I should see what it says after that, but yeah, so that's really what I'm tinkering with here. And then there is like a crazy idea where like I could, in theory, just like run an AI agent to say like, hey, ensure that like this flow works, and then I write my own English. But that just seems like such a waste. But it is like interesting. It is an interesting concept. RP. Keep them generic for now. Go. So now we'll see what it actually ends up doing. So yeah, because I really like, my goal here is really just to validate that iOS is always up to date, and then the end goal, the end plan, is all of these UI tests. So whenever I push to GitHub, I have Dante running over there that has an N8N server that will just build and test onto this iPhone whenever I push to a PR or main. And that's really the goal. I don't think it actually used the thing that is pretty crazy to me is it feels like it didn't actually use the MCP server. Do I have that text in this app? Oh, it's a... I think that was like the test notes that I put in. Them test notes. right, so it made this, and then onboarding. All right, let's see what it did. No, wait, no. Flows. Oh. Yeah. Onboarding 2 sets. Now we check the running device. Right, so this is what it did. So it is running through. So this device, right? So now it's going to test. I think the test might have failed. Yeah, okay. The test failed. The test failed. The test failed because I had to like re-sign into. This is like the privacy policy of the app. So the test failed because of that. But if we run it again, it's going to restart the app. Okay, I don't think I actually care about. Oh wait, no, it should tap on consent. Nope, I don't want to. I mean, I can run the app, that's fine. Oh. Where is it? Tap on save. So there is no save anymore. I think it was just... Okay, so there is no save anymore, so... and then it goes there, and then it goes back squat, incline, input back, save. There is no save again. Is there like a... Where did I like tap on the back? How did I do that before? It's like tappy on the back button. So if add variation, I'm gonna shut that down, run it again. It's gonna fail here. I'm actually pretty surprised about how far it got just looking at my old tests, because that's from UI that's a long time ago. Like a long time ago. Okay, and then there is no save, so what was the... It was the lifting scaffold. top bar. Where are you? Leading icon. Where did I put you? So we have the leading icon, or leading content, but that's just empty. Did I? Yeah. I put you right here. Okay, so here we have the back button content description. Oh, come on. Where are you? It's just back. Okay. Can I do that any other way? What if, I know I'm naming that very horribly right now. No, I don't want to run. I just want to... Like, how do I, like, what I really want to do is, like, toolbar, navigation button, right? That's what I really want to do. So maybe I'll just stick with my gut and do that. And then what I actually really want to do, lifting scaffold, test tags. Oh wait, no, it doesn't actually matter there. So the normal, like normally the way I would do that is I would like abstract the string, but because I'm running like cross Kotlin YAML, it doesn't actually matter. But I guess it does matter here because they are still duplicated. And then why am I... Okay, so now we have those. Let's back out. So we have the navigation button. We can grab this. We can now... Where was... All right. No, I don't want to... No, that should work. let us see. I think I am missing something about Maestro. Maestro test tag ID. Oh, was there an issue with like Kotlin multi-platform? All right, let's try this. The test is failing. I tried updating the test tags of the compose to match the back button. There is no longer a save button on any pages. So the reason I'm thinking about this is there was a problem where like compose multi-platform would not work with Maestro, or like the test tags weren't being set in a correct manner. So oh, that's not what I wanted to do. So use the Maestro MCP server to figure out the proper tags and IDs. This is the thing I wanted to see it do, right? Like really. Right, so like now like the MCP, like the AI is using the app, which is pretty cool. Why is it doing, like it's doing all this weird stuff? This is the thing I always like get super, like sure it's doing things, but it's going about it in the most convoluted, crazy way possible. There's no save button. I have told you this. The other thing that I wanted to do today is there's a big issue with the backup feature in Lift Pro, where it's taking way longer than I expected. I guess so. The big issue is that like the workflow that I'm going through is I'm backing everything up to JSON and then prompting the user where to save it. So I need to figure out a more universal or like faster way of doing that, or yeah, use a background service, which is probably the right decision. But I'm wondering if I can speed up that backup any more than I can, right? Because like there's a lot of information in the variations, for example. I don't think that's needed. I mean, hey, it's gotten further. But what did it do for... Oh, I didn't rebuild. I'm a dumbass. That's why. That's always the thing with Maestro that's like weird is you need to rebuild the application, and sometimes like a lot of the time I'll make changes to the app and forget to rebuild, and then I just kind of get stuck in a weird limbo state. Excuse me, weird limbo state, which not the end of the world, but weird. Ooh. That's so I just got an interesting idea of right now. Whenever the application, whenever you write to any of the fields in the application, like whenever I write to any of the given fields, it just auto saves. And I'm wondering if that's, if I want to do it on back. I can't do it on like application dismiss because that's never going to be reliable. So yeah, I guess I need to do it just on back. Maybe I could debounce it. I still haven't figured out like a great way of doing debounce in an MVI world. Like when I was just doing like straight inputs outputs in a view model, it was so easy to debounce. And there's a lot of things that are much better in the MVI world, like just general state management. I find is much better, but yeah, thinking out loud. Okay, so let's try running this now. I think it is going to fail. Yeah, so this is going to be... Oh wait, no, it shouldn't actually fail if I just undo the changes. I don't think it should actually matter. No, because the test tag is going to be there anyways. Why can't you launch? Why? So the app ID flows onboarding to sets. Oh wait, full. Yeah, that's why. Oh, right. Is it? Can you ensure the test is working? I think it's because the MCP, the Maestro MCP and CLI can't be running at the same time. So just can't find the device. Why is this? Clear state, launch bro. Why are you doing that again? I don't care about the consents. Hopefully it'll just figure it out. There is no continue. Okay, I got it to work. I'll just have to figure out that part. No. What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? Put me in coach, create lifts, squat. Oh, it's this stupid. Wait, no, didn't I get rid of? It's a toolbar and that navigation button. Yeah. We're good. No, we're not good. Okay, so what's going on here? We've got... Where are you putting these just like back? Load file system changes. Like, what is... Okay, that doesn't work. All right, let's see if this works. I've deleted all of the stuff that it was really messing with. Like, it was trying to find that I had read and agreed to terms and conditions and privacy policy. It's probably like the most inefficient way to work with systems like this, but hey. Tap on continue again, please. Okay, so if it's not clear, this has not been the most fun time. All right, I'm just gonna screw you. All right. Let's run this again. All right, doing well. Oh, it's because I scrolled. What?
Alright, so now we're gonna yank this. Paste that there. Sure. Why? Huh? No, I'm good. Thank you. Alright, we still haven't got past onboarding yet, but I don't think the press back is working at all, but uh this should work. I think all those it just like got confused about what to do with back. Now I'm here.
Did you know 420 is like Halloween at the weed store?
Yeah, they have candy and stuff.
Yeah. The little table of treats
Yeah.
and merch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you get merch?
Yeah, I got you a hat.
You got me a hat. Yeah.
It says Divvy on it.
Okay.
Cool font.
Yeah. You excited about that?
Yeah.
Are you holding something behind your back?
No, just my hands.
Okay.
I got you an Orange Crush
Thank you.
and some drugs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you like resin infused?
Yep.
That's good.
Okay. Why is... Oh, I didn't reset the app. That was the problem. I got distracted. Okay, so the first back, I didn't think the first back was needed because we hit create lift and then we don't actually need to open lift. I need to tap on squat and then tap on edit lift, I believe it is. I needed to tap on this to then continue. Oh, but I need to bingo bongo. What's the lift details screen? We're gonna go down the lift details screen. We're going to figure out where the edit button is, and it just has a thing of edit, which is great. That you know what, that's fine for now. Oh, it's working. Oh, right, I scrolled. Now it's broken. I don't understand the second add variation. Create variation 1. We go back, we add it, we add the weight, we go back. And then we go to edit. Now we test this. Why is it? Oh, so it is null there. Okay, so that is a bug. I can fix today as well. Just noticed something. No, I have to hit create the first one, so I have to hit edit, and then I have to hit add variation. Whoop up, and then need to run, and then clear. I'm really confused as to. It's like skip onboarding, onboarding select bro. I should just go here. Onboarding select bro, and just like pull those two, and then. Like that should just work, right? Right. Right. Oh. Where did you get stuck on? Oh, I scrolled. All right, I'm gonna run for 1 sec. Just gonna be right back. I gotta check on some cooking foods. Let's see if it starts doing the plan correctly. All right, we'll be right back. Hey, back. I stepped over my computer. Okay. Did I figure it out? I doubt it. Did I like hit a go up button? Or did this like... I feel like both I hit up and then it came down. It felt like I was much lower than I was before. So the other thing... So the other thing, we have the backup service, which really has this backup use case, which just... How does this work? So we create the backup, which is a suspend function, which just really gets everything. Do we even need to do that right away? So the problem is that right now like the app is running, but if I hit restore backup or I hit backup, especially when somebody has a sufficiently large database, it chills for a very long time. So that's something I've wanted to fix for a while. So how does this work? So when you hit share file, it does need the full file, and that's when I actually post it. So like an option is throwing this all to the background thread. Another option is sorry, did this work? So, okay. Here are the current options. We've got one, JSON backup. And then we have two, which is going to be like DB backup. Right, so DB backup, the solution there would be create a copy of the database for recovery. I think I've already decided and thinking of this, but I'm still going to talk it through just in case I change my mind. And this one would be create a JSON representation of the DB for recovery. So I'm going to do this in a weird way. But so like, what do I like about the DB backup? Pros, it's like easy, right? It's quick. It's like encrypted, which is nice. And then the cons, breaks across versions, breaks across devices, and then the star is unless I can share the keys somehow. Which, like, that's not the end of the world, but if somebody has a backup and then their phone gets destroyed or their phone is whatever, like, that sucks. Unless I also allow a backup of their encryption key. But, like, storing the key in the database in the same location makes no sense, and that's putting way too much onus on the user. So JSON backup, pros, cross version, cross platform, cross platform is a huge one. I don't. This can be cross-platform, but that would be hard to guarantee. Cons, and also like fixable with migrations. So what I mean by fixable with migrations is like if I have a version 1 that somebody updates to version 2 and then all of a sudden I start getting errors in Sentry or something around that, like I can go in and I can solve that problem, right? Like that's something that I can fix. Like somebody having an encrypted database that they try to migrate, like that's outside of the realm of things I want to solve right now. I wouldn't even know where to begin with that. Cons, unencrypted. That is an asterisk. Like I could encrypt it and then give them a key if they so choose, or they could set a password, right? So that is actually like a star. So it would be unencrypted for now, and I could add that feature later. Slow. Slow is a big one. Because with a database copy, it's just like, hey, I just like operating system, copy the thing, and move it here. With JSON backup, I have to like read the entire contents of the database and then like convert them to JSON and then turn that into a file and then move that somewhere. So like that is the problem I'm trying to solve, is that it is slow right now. And then I just thought of another con of like JSON backup. It's slow. So I've already mentioned like cross versions. So I was gonna say like, oh yeah, like if I change things in a JSON file, like I can fix that in migration. I've already mentioned that. There was one other thing. It's quick, encrypted. Yeah, so I think JSON backup is still the correct solution here, just because the pros, the reason I'm leaning this way, I guess, is that the pros in this side are all like good for me. Right? But the pros all here are like good for users. And then like the really big one is encrypted, and then I just need to solve the slow problem, which I could solve with some like background, like work manager type stuff or things, which I believe there's like KMP work manager or something. I just need to remember how to use work manager. It's been a while. But let's see if this works. Yeah, so I think what I want to do then is let's look at it's like CampQ Work Manager. Like I think I actually kind of want to do this anyways, just because this is kind of work that I want to do, especially for like the backup, or I could actually then run this on a consistent backup. Ooh, this actually just might solve a lot of the problems. So, multi-step workflows that survive process death. If step 47 of 100 was running when iOS killed the app, resumes at 47, not 0. Oh. Best effort. Minimum 15 minutes on both platforms. Cannot guarantee exact timing. Preferred over exact. Yeah, so if I do like, yeah. So, okay, so that's what I'm gonna do for this. Oh, hell yeah. It worked. It worked. Okay, so we're going to we're first going to switch to UI testing fixes, and then we're going to commit this, create new happy path tests for Maestro. And then, so what I really want to do is I just want to like run these on a simulator in, all right, so let's see what Big Pickle can do. All right, the tests are working, and then we'll start working on the background manager stuff that I actually want to really do. Tests are working. I want this happy path flow to run on an iOS simulator on each PR. Use GitHub workflows to manage this. All right, while that's going, let's go back here. All right, so we're gonna stay on this branch just because I don't want to futz around with that, and I'm pretty sure we'll be able to figure out our differences because we're working on very different things. So let's go to presentation compose. We are going to go to common main. That's not what I wanted to copy. We're going to grab this. Ah! I really need to move more of this stuff. Move this stuff over to like the libs. But the thing is that like I've actually set up the project in a way where not a lot of these things need to get shared. Like compose should only sit in the, I know I just screamed there and I'm sorry, I apologize. But like compose should only sit in the presentation layer. So like it doesn't really matter that it's hard coded here. But if I had like a massive shared multi-module project with like multiple features that each had their own presentation, absolutely, that's needed. I don't know why I like kissed there, but it would be absolutely required in my opinion. just to avoid like version drift and shit. Okay, so now we have the work manager. So all right, so we have to initialize, and then so I have to do some app delegate stuff. I have to do some app delegate stingies. Okay, but I can reference this now. We're good. Yeah, your version is fine. I didn't wait for that to work. Let's just go with... Ooh... How does this work? So I have to call create. Oh, so this has to happen. So the thing I'm realizing right now is that for this to actually work, for Android, I need to do this in the application, but the application doesn't actually exist within there. I don't actually think I have an application file. Do I? This might be a problem, but why? I guess I can go application context, yeah. This is probably gonna fail, I'm not gonna lie. Where is my worker factory? Where is my worker factory? Where is the worker? Or is this the thing that I have to... Is this the thing... Wait, no, this would be... Android worker factory. Cool. This is where I forget the stuff. Or is there like one second. Oh, come on. Like, is there... What is it? No. How do I sign like an application again? How do I assign an application file in Android? I just forget. No. Application class. Is it just the thing that extends application? I'm slowly remembering. Why? Okay, so is that a date? Platform setup. All right, maybe this is a little bit less up to date than I thought it was. I don't want the Android app if I don't need it. Yeah. So what is this? It's Sync Worker Android. Built-in worker for standard API synchronization. File compression. Okay. So I guess I need to do So I'm going to be passing in define a worker. Oh, I understand. Okay, so in this case, the idea is that we do the input. So, and then the input is, this is where, so we get the worker class name, sync worker, so we have to have, okay, this is going to work with my current setup because the Android stuff is going to be separated from iOS, so that's fine. I need to look up. It's been a while. Yeah, so we do the work here, and then we return result success. That's fine. Work request. So what is, so we just get called do work. It gets the app context and params. In this case, I get, so that's literally how this works. Like when worker class name, like if I, like there, I'll do like backup worker or something like this, right? The restore worker I don't think needs this, but we'll just do backup worker there. And in this case, I guess we just call backup use case. I guess we literally just do call that, right? But this must be okay, we'll just we're just gonna huck it in there, see what happens. Now, whenever we call the backup use case instead, so let's just do here. So how do we invoke this again? Okay. How do I get the scheduler? I don't understand. Oh, right. It's like KMP schedule, KMP worker manager, KMP. What do we call here? KMP work manager. Why couldn't I? Where am I? Yeah, we're in presentation. Why can I not? This has all of coin in it? Oh. Not that coin's bad, I just wouldn't expect coin to be as like a library requirement. Like, that kind of makes me not want to use this at all. Well, how do I get this now? I don't understand this library. It makes little sense. All right. I am going to I don't like this library. So what I'm going to do, we're going to fix the backup alert dialog and stuff. So what I'm going to do today is not going to be perfect. I'm also looking at the time, and I know that I need to go and marinate some pork belly to put in the slow cooker for like an hour and a half for dinner, and then we're gonna go see Speed Racer tonight, which is going to be great. Yeah, in theaters. Very excited for that. But I'll be back on Wednesday to at least most definitely finish this. But I also have a feeling I'll probably tinker with this tomorrow. But so what happens here is a lot of not great stuff because the backup system is very old and it was very hacky because I realized that I needed to throw it in to ensure that I could back up myself, like my own database for just like my own uses, and now it's like a thing that people rely on. So it needs to be better. So what happens here is we have a backup alert dialog. So there is in the application a forced backup, quote unquote, but it takes a while, especially if you have a longer, like a larger database. So my computer doesn't really impact me that much, but if let's say if I open my version of the app right now, I think I did update recently. Yeah, but let's just say so flash backup date. If the user's not backed up before, and then show backup modal, we're just going to set this to true, and then we're gonna run to the hills, bump it about, bump it about. All right, so this is the backup. Now if I hit backup here, it's going to be very quick, but if I say go to restore, I should have a fairly large backup that crashes, which is great. Why can't you decode? So backup service deserialize. We have backup. This has LB set. LB set has unexpected JSON token in numeric Emacs dot date. Oh, it's variations. And then we have a set here. This also can be well, so it can't be transient there. So what I want to do, so right now the backup isn't working because the symbol is incorrect, but these are actually not required at all. But that's not really important for right now, and also makes me think that my backup system needs to be abstracted one more. So it's just like it really only needs to be the database. But oh, damn! Sorry, Phaedric, didn't see what you were saying. Basically went all in on AI, mandatory AI training. Yeah, it sounds about right. Don't have enough tokens and hit rate limiting multiple times a day. That's frustrating. Yeah, I am still doing this full time. But I have been doing some interviews and stuff. I had one this morning and I have one tomorrow. 2 different companies, so yeah. But you know, doing what I can. But yeah, it's like it is. There are aspects of it that have I seen a substantial change in the way interviews operate. Nothing really crazy yet. Like a lot of the interviews that I've gone through, like they've been fairly standard. Like fairly standard. Like it feels like companies have either kind of gone all in on like leak code questions, or they've like very much strayed away from leak code questions. So they're a lot more like, here's a architecture problem, or like we're gonna give you like a data source and figure out how to handle that information, right? So excuse me, like a lot more practical actually, but in a good way. I guess that's always a good way, not always a good way, but yeah. So that's been a big thing I've noticed. It's like companies either seem to go all in or all like either way. I have also noticed that there's been 1 or 2 where not recently, but 1 or 2 where they've like flat out allowed AI in the interview. But like it kind of came with a warning of like, if you use AI, like we're gonna expect like significantly more or something. I'm just like, all right, I'm just gonna ignore that because I think I can do it. Oh wait, sorry. I was like, oh, that why is serializable on notes? That's why it's broken. That's not true at all. So I do have the instant serializer. Oh, it's because I did 2 string. Oh no. In the backups I did 2. Wait, this doesn't matter. Does this matter? Because this is a domain serializable. This is a domain serializable, so it's not stored in the database. It's unfortunate that I'm using it for backups. It's actually like very unfortunate that I'm using it for backups. So I should actually, no, I'm fixing the backup system. We're gonna fix backups. So what happens here is where I get this issue. What I want to do. The backup service. So the backup service has So it has like the lift, the variation, so it's got all this information. And the kind of big problem here is that really what it should have is, or not like should have, but like here is a solution for it where I go like LB set or like backup set, and then we have backup variation, and then what happens here is we copy everything from variation, bring it over here. Because I don't actually need the Emax 1 max rep, the latest set, I do need body weight, I do need notes, like these are all things that are stored. It really just needs the lift ID. Oh, but that's gonna break like the old. Yeah, I don't want to like make significant changes like that. And then we have a backup set. And then backup set is going to be pretty much the same. It is going to have a different serializer. Just gonna put this all in the same file for now. And this is going to be, I think it was just like 2 string. And then I'm pretty sure that's like how silly I did that. And then instant serializer, we don't want the domain one, we want the one that's right here. Then everything else I think is needed. MERS are calculated. Body weight rep is calculated, I believe. So now we have all of these instead of the others, and that should be fine there. Yeah, I'm trying to think about any other like major differences with interviews. I think interviews have become a lot more standardized than I've noticed in the past. Like it seems like everybody kind of has the same like 4 to 5 step process, or roughly the same 4 to 5 step process of like behavioral, and there's a tech like there's, you meet with a recruiter and then you chat with a technical person, and then like there's 4 rounds after where you kind of like chat with more of the team and stuff like that. A lot less take-home stuff. I have had a few instances that are like you just apply and then you just get like a here's a leak code question to answer immediately, and it's like shit. Like I don't mind it, but it's just like I sent you a resume and I already have homework. You haven't even talked to me. So now I need to I do not want these to, I guess I do want them to be defaulted, but
Just a reminder that it's 3 o'clock.
Did you want me to start doing the meet now or later?
Sometime in the next half an hour, so whenever a natural break occurs, we can get that on.
Okay. I'll finish this
Yeah.
thing and then. Yeah. Yeah. Ugh. All right, so now we have all of those. So ID, no. I don't know what I hit there. All right, now I don't know why Kotlin fill class isn't working right now, but I don't know why I also haven't fixed it. I'm also kind of getting the flow of just like being able to do things with Vim where like I don't really need a lot of like other macros and like plugins and stuff. Like I still do, but like that would have been faster with Kotlin fill class, but I feel like the better I get with Vim, the faster I'm just kind of getting in general. Okay, so now I have these. I'm just going to and then now, why are you not working? One thing I still need to try out more of, Kotlin fill class marked as incompatible. Guess that's why I do need to update. I do need to check out Hot Swan a little bit more. It looks like it actually might solve a big problem that I have. Yes. Pretty sure I already did hit restart. But it seems to solve a problem that I have with my current setup where like I do need a device to run things. Just I'm not gonna like blame anything specifically. It's kind of half my fault, but it's kind of where we're at. So rainbow brackets, that's fine. So now Kotlin fill class work. With Kotlin plugin. I thought, what? Okay. Well, can't believe I haven't run into that before. I guess I just haven't really needed it in a while. Yeah. Um. And then those I think I can just actually get rid of because I don't have those. Oh yeah, and then these are gone. And then there we go. So now we have the to domain and we have there. So we just go map it to domain. Dot map it to domain. So now we have this, which fixed the current backup issue. And then we're going to, once we fix this backup issue, we'll commit, we'll push, and then I need to go marinate the meat and start that, which will, I have to just blend it and then huck it in. It's just gonna take like a minute. Do I even use this anywhere? Debug sets are used here. Debug backup. That was just when debug backup was just, so I had when I was first using the app, I just needed, I just generated a shitload of data using some web tool, and then hooked that in some quote unquote JSON. Well, that was correct. So that's all of those. And then are there also, I guess the sets are empty. Is this actually used anywhere? Like default SVD, I guess it's used in onboarding. And I just like want to hook those in the database. So selected variations. So selected variations is a variation, but then here we have the lift variations, which we get as backup variations, because the lift, well, where are these coming from? Where are you coming from? Oh, I just get the width lifts. Ooh. What do I actually do with these? So I've selected variations. Oh, that's bad. And then these just go... for each, okay. This is not great. So I get the lifts, and then lifts, what if I just go, what if I undid what I did before, and I just, so we have debug variations to SPD lifts, and then that's going to be very confused here. There we go, that should solve that. So now I just have the default lifts, which are, it's just a pair of two things together. Those are just like squat, bench, deadlift, like default. Okay, so now let's try restoring. Still crashed. Oh, what is it? It's like encountered unknown key, so where do I... It's not going to be in backup. It's going to be in restore. How does this work? Where do I do the JSON then? So I'm doing it in the client, I'm doing it. We're just gonna try and fix this, see if it goes, and then we will find a better spot for this. Because where is this? This is in compose. So I could, I guess, just like do this on initialize in the app itself. Come on. What are you doing? Encountered an unknown key, Emacs at path. Okay. I don't care. Let's go. I want to get this restoring. So workouts also has the same problem. Okay, so I need to do some more backup fixing. All right, but I need to go fix the meat, so I'm gonna go do that. Be right back. Please, camera work. Yeah, it worked. Be right back. Making some adobo pork. Then we continue fixing backups. I'll make this a little bit smaller, and then we go there. All right, be right back. Be right back.
pork is in the cooker. How do I? Why can't I see? Whatever. Oh, yeah. Bye-bye. Okay, there we go. So, the issue we were running into next was, so we have workouts, which workouts also include exercises, and exercises have... So do I actually need... So if I'm thinking about like my backups, because like right now this is heavily based on so if I were to get rid of this, I don't actually need the exercises here because I have a list of exercises, but those should all exist within the actual workout. I think I added this later. It doesn't even really seem like it. Yeah, because we call it... Oh, this is so much worse than I thought. Okay, so... Now the issue is that we have... What was the actual bug? It was the problem of workouts, exercises, variation sets, which has a variation thingamajigger. So I really messed this up. This bug was introduced when I changed the... There is also another... I also just wonder if this would work, but if I ever try to deserialize... What if I try to like decode string there? But what if... No, because like what would happen there is I would like decode long and then it would fail. But why is this crashing at the point of... Because there's an issue with... So I could. I really don't want to. Right. So this is an option. The problem is that whenever this fails, it actually like causes a pretty big like hitch in the system. It's not like that huge of an issue, but it's enough where, I mean, it seems like it did fix the problem. It didn't actually fix the problem, but unless... It just didn't pull any of the sets. It
didn't save any of the sets. It seems like it saved everything else. Did it actually save the workouts as well? No, it doesn't seem like workouts were saved, but workouts are based on sets. So why? Still, the sets are just not. Seems like all the sets are not being saved. So, is a set list. I wonder. Okay, let me try. I'm going to stash all of this. We are going to go to the. We're going to reapply this. I want to see if this works in a way where, or can I also go like decoder type? Like can I get? Oop. So this did work. Now, is there a way? Because decode string is always going to work. I didn't want to do this, but it is so much cleaner. But I really need to like actually fix. So what was the issue here? So if I said ignore keys, is it because sets was null for some reason? I am going to commit this stuff because it does fix. Like, I know when it's going to be a problem. It's not a valid branch tonight. No, I want. Oh, sorry. I want to commit here. I was in the wrong. I was on the wrong mode. What did I do? Update instant serialization to handle string and for backup backwards compatibility. All right. Now we're just gonna make a PR for that. Okay, so now the actual issue that we wanted to fix. So when I hit back up here, it does take a second, even on like this computer, right? Like it takes a solid little bit to go. So what I want to do is create some sort of like UI, or run it in a background service, or run it in a background worker. So like it triggers and says like, hey, boop, your backup is ready. Where do you want to store it? So I think I could do a background service that pushes a notification, and then if you get the notification, it just like runs on your phone. That should work there. So the way that would work is, so right now you just have like the UI, and then like the user hits a button, and then it just like triggers the background backup service. And this is because this wasn't necessarily like a mandatory thing for the app, and it has now become one, just because it was like a feature that I built for myself, because I was like deleting the app so often, and now it's become like very, very mandatory for users. Like there's actually been a few people that have mentioned it. So that's where this comes from. And then the issue, though, sorry, I lost my train of thought there for a second. The issue is that since the UI is directly calling the backup service, if the UI ever dies, backup service goes away. And also when you hit this button, like it doesn't feel like it's doing anything. And then like this is really just kind of building this. So I guess to like dive a little bit deeper into the background service itself, or the backup service, it creates a backup, which is step one. I know I'm making like a sequence diagram in a really weird way. It creates a backup as step one, and then it reaches out to file manager as step two, right? So I guess, yeah, so it's like 1, 2, 3. So we have UI creates backup, backup service goes out to create backup, and then hits the file manager, right? So that's the flow that we currently have. I'm actually just going to make this into a sequence diagram because it was annoying me, and I think that would be better. But now I need to move it like this. I guess this is here, here, here. I regret trying to move it. Okay, we're just gonna go back to the weird thing. Okay, so yeah, UI step one goes to the backup service, step two goes to create a backup, and then step three sends that backup out to the file manager. The thing is that this takes a very long time. It's the thing that goes like bleh, and then whee. So what I think instead is I'm gonna like have the UI trigger a backup worker, which I know that these two sound like the same thing, but this is really like a backup repository. So it like runs all synchronously, right? And then this will actually, I guess now I do kind of want to build this in an actual So now the UI is going to trigger the backup worker, and then the backup worker instead is, it's still going to do like the kind of create backup thing where it just goes like, ho, I'm going to get my backup, but instead it's going to create a push notification. So like local push, which really is just gonna like say like, hey, the backup's finished, here's where the file is, like do what you want to do with it, and then the user can like hit the share button or do whatever. And then if the UI is still up, what should happen here is the local push notification should actually send a notification like UI, if UI is up / user taps notification, and then we have backup, trigger backup. If UI taps / user triggers notification, then this will go all the way out finally to the file manager. So that's the new flow that I'm thinking of. So we have this like backup worker that goes out to local push. If UI taps it, UI is tapped. If UI is up, user taps notification. We are good to go. And this way, like if it takes a long time and they're or whatever, right? So I'll probably have to like also update this to kind of show a thing like backup being created or show a little like constant notification. But let's just get this kind of basic thing working, and we'll go from there. But that is my general idea. Any thoughts? You know, we're actually just gonna keep it right here. It's like a little, that's what we're building. Okay, so how do I want to do this? I need to, all right, let's, Kotlin multi-platform, background worker. I did look up this library and we did tinker around with it. This is a different one. This made no sense though when I was trying it. I'm sorry if you're watching. I mean, I'm probably gonna have to do the same work anyways. Worker. Let's see this again. Didn't I delete all of this? No. What was this library? I swear it wasn't this one. It had way more multi-platform work manager. It had way more stars than this, the previous one. It had like hundreds. And it was also significantly Where the hell did this? Oh, there it is. Here it is. Yeah, this is the one that I looked into, and it has a little bit more. It just wasn't giving me. So one thing I didn't understand is how to get a scheduler. Or okay, so the idea here is that I have like the sync. I don't understand because I call sync worker. This calls the sync worker in common main. This returns the thing. But where do I get the scheduler? But I don't actually, is this like really want... This is feeling... This is feeling like overkill. Okay, I think I still want this. So let's just power through it. So I do need to put this back here. And then I need to go to compose. I forget how to like go vertically in Vim all of a sudden. It's like, oh yeah, it's like control up I did for like the big movements. All right. Then we do this. We're just gonna initialize it on Android for now, and then try and get this working. And we'll definitely finish it either when we're gone, just because Sarah and I do have to get to a movie. So what was the Android initialization? Right, it was just. And then it was the worker factory that I guess I just have to so we just go with it. So now when worker class name like, is this how I do this? Because that's how I see it kind of work in. Because I see this like worker factory here, but I don't see it required in the Android setup. Unless I do have to. Unless I just pass it all through straight to common main, because I don't actually really care. But I guess I should use the... That's what I do here. Ugh. Yeah, but there's like no... Unless I can just like... So Android Worker Factory, implement this to provide your Android Worker implementations. So can't I just like use a default Worker Factory? How does the iOS setup work again? So I have to pass in vchain executor, coin iOS, share whatever, coin gain. Why is it showing me like all this coin stuff? Oh, right. This has coin initialized. I forgot about that. I'm beginning to regret my changes to move back to this. Okay, so what are my other options? I could also just like learn how to do this. Android Worker, yes. All right, Work Manager with example. Okay, so you got a thingy, you do a thingy, you get a notification with a worker request with an initial delay. Then you unqueue that work request. Oh, so this is like literally creating a notification. Okay, I've done that before. I just forget doing that. There's the full one. I knew I got a new Coke recently. Okay, so we are going to stash this stuff again. I have like 1,000 stashes named ASDF that I will never go back to. We have so how do I want to handle this? I want to create like some sort of shared interface for like running background tasks. That's really all I want to do. So so how do I want to handle that? What I can do so I'm gonna do an expect actual. So we have this idea where on the settings screen, when we hit backup, we have the backup settings row. When we hit this, we have the backup CTA, which just causes invoke to happen. When we call this, we create the backup here. But what I really want to do, all right, so we're gonna create a little. That's not in a great spot. So we're gonna do. Well, no. So I want this to create some sort of workup, backup. So what this should actually do is this should actually let's go through the full workflow at this point. So what I want to happen here is the backup use case is going to trigger a notification. So if I want to trigger notification, what I want to do, so I want, like, there's got to be, okay, so, as part of this UI, there's got to be, you hit the trigger backup. That then creates a backup, which then calls out to local push or creates that push notification. So I could just here instead, like once the backup is finished, then send out a local notification. So why don't we do that? So once the backup is created, we'll just send out a local notification, and we'll have to figure out how to get back into the flow. So Kotlin multi-platform notifications. Push notification, cool. Right, so local notification, multi-platform, sick. What if I don't actually want that? Like, what if I only want local? What if I don't want Android local notifications. Yeah, I don't think I have to ask for permissions to just like send a local notification, do I? Yeah, I don't think so. Runtime permission, see notification, runtime permission. Non-exempt, including foreground service notifications. I forget this. I don't think... Do I post notifications in Budgie? No, I read notifications in Budgie, and I definitely need permissions for that. All right, I'm gonna need to think more about this. So we did backup, we did remove those things. So instead, what I'm going to do is we have our create directories, we create the backup file. Create backup does return just a simple backup. These are all executing as one, aren't they? Oh, right, these are all just like forcing firsts on everything. So what I could do here is, this is getting a little bit more complicated than I'd like. Problem is that on iOS it takes forever, so I really need to do this. So the thing is that I need to do this on iOS. On Android it's not a huge problem. But what I can do is I can yeah, I think I'm just going to set this up in a way that's nice, well, relatively nice anyway. So we have the backup settings row where you hit backup and then it waits for a second. In that case, it's just going to go. So what I will do is... go. It's like circular progress indicator, and then isn't there just like infinite? So so this is not great, but basically we just set the backing up to be true and then set backing up to be false. And then when it's finished, we should, like, from my understanding, it should grab the file and then go, but we shall check. But what I really want to do is fix this for the modal. So I really should show a modal here as well, actually. I should just show the same modal. So maybe I do show the same modal so we get that kind of like backing up. It should just be returning true, right? Backup layer dialog. Let's just show that always. Because that's where it gets bad. So if you hit backing up, okay, so let's actually fix this. So we've got the text, we've got the title. So when we hit the OK button, if backing up, then we do the circular progress bar indicator. Else, we grab this. Now we have that same kind of idea there, but I actually want to do it kind of within the title. So what does this title say again? Because I really kind of want to. Oh wait, no, it should be here. Oh, so that actually does just like trigger out to the OS, so I don't actually really have to worry about that too much. What happens if I... Why does this not just kind of continue forever? What happens if I put this just in like a global scope? I shouldn't do that, but I kind of want to. So backing up true, backing up false, we set that. The text, it's been a while. So basically now what we do, and then, so if backing up, so text, this may take a while, and then the button changes. What? Come on. All right, so if backing up, then the secondary button becomes cancel, which just show back. So right now, so we basically get if backing up, then cancel backup, notify when finished. Otherwise, and then up here, otherwise, this is going to be, so show backup modal. So if we're backing up, let's see how this looks. Basically, the modal itself is going to maybe I could just like show the modal. And then like the modal just says like, hey, backup true. Oh, that'd be so weird. So the thing is, I kind of just want to like show the same modal when the user hits backup there, where like from the main page it just kind of says like, hey, hit backup, and then it might take a minute, it might take longer, I don't know. I do need to update the text because it does get a little jarring, I find. Yeah, like hitting just back up now, this may take a while, and then bop. It is, maybe it's a little too much movement. Maybe I need to test this on iOS. But then, how do like other apps handle it? So where's Game Eye? Wait, did my Game Eye disappear for some reason? Okay, so there's the settings, auto backups, the settings. Can I just, can I not just hit the backup button? Import, export. Export, restore point. That's really fast. That's how they handle it. So why is mine so long? It seems like they're also just updating, like outputting like a Game Eye database. It outputs a GED, which I think I need to think about this more. I do like the idea of the backup kind of turning into a spinner at least. So really what I want to do here is just trigger a notification here instead, and then when the notification is clicked, or if the notification happens when you're local, then just that goes through. I'm just having a hard time picturing how that works with my current application setup, but I'll figure that out. That's what I need to think about a little bit more. The reason it's not perfect is because I have right now everything I have sits in a like common main, and my Android app sits out here. I guess my Android and iOS app all sit out somewhere else. So maybe I just need to create a signified injection point where it's just goes, or a solidified injection point where it's like, yeah, here's like the callback that they take to send notifications or something. But I'll do a little bit more research into that. But yeah, I really just need to like trigger a notification here instead, or yeah, if I can trigger that local notification, then cool. All right, so I'm gonna do that. It's 4:30, so I'm going to help Sarah with finishing up dinner, and I will see you all on Wednesday. We'll probably be doing a little bit more of this, just kind of like tinkering around in the code base. There's some more abstractions I want to make, especially there was somebody that wanted to do some work on the project, and they needed like keys in their code base to get it to just run locally, which shouldn't be the case. So I'm going to create an abstraction there so I can disable things like revenue cat and stuff, so if people want to run them in debug mode and whatnot, because I do think that that is a valid thing to want to do. But thank you all for watching. Have a great, fantastic rest of your Monday. Happy 420, and see you all later. Bye.